Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Monday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we got a lot to talk about today on this Monday. Of course, we know that the finals is in full effect. The series is tied 2-2, and it's a great series that's going on between Boston and Golden State. Now, of course, I was on vacation the past few days, and I did chime in for a moment on Friday while I was enjoying some sunshine at the beach, and I did state that in order for Golden State to make a series out of it, that others were going to have to step up. And I noted that Jordan Poole would have to be one of the ones who needed to step up. And I said he would need to get at least 17 or 18 points in order for Golden State to pull out the victory. However, I was wrong because Jordan Poole only scored, I believe, 14 points, and they were still able to pull out the victory. But we're going to jump into that a whole lot here in just a moment. But before we start talking about the finals, I just want to bring up one thing, and that's for all the Lakers fan out there and just pretty much any NBA fan, just a topic of interest. I don't know if anybody noticed, but Anthony Davis was on somebody's interview and they were talking and they was having a little shoot around, and he said that he has not shot a basketball since April the 5th. Now, April the 5th was the last game that he played in, I want to say against Phoenix in the regular season. So basically, Anthony Davis said that he has not shot a basketball since April the 5th. Of course, a lot of people from Lakers Nation chimed in, a lot of fans chimed in and said that, you know, what in the world is wrong with Anthony Davis? Where is his heart? That is the problem right now. Of course, you know, hey, if he isn't shooting the basketball, then of course he cannot be injured. You understand what I'm saying? But I want everybody's opinion below. Give me your opinion on what you think. Do you think it's okay that Anthony Davis has not at least been shooting the basketball? I mean, it doesn't mean you have to be in hard, you know, rigorous training or anything just to be able to have shoot around. But at the end of the day, my personal opinion on it is these players hoop all year long. It's not like he's going to forget how to shoot. And of course, he's going to have plenty of time for training camp and of course throughout the summer, because hell, the season is basically still going. So there's still a lot of time left for him to play. And of course, we all know he was nursing an injury at the end of the season, and so was LeBron James. So me, myself, personally, I'm not too messed up about it, but I'd like to know what you think. You know, it did sound crazy at first, you know, considering it's June and you saying you hadn't even touched the basketball. I mean, hey, it is what it is. But back to what I was saying, let's get back and talk about these NBA finals, because that's what's going on right now. And of course, we all know that the Golden State Warriors were able to pull it off 107-97 at Boston. Now, that was a big game for Boston. Had Boston won that game and went up 3-1, I honestly think that the series would have been over. And now I am honestly starting to think that Golden State will pull this out. At first, I picked Boston in 6, but I just have to go ahead and give credit to where credit is due. Steph Curry is having an amazing series, and if the Warriors do pull this off, he will be no doubt a finals MVP for the first time in his career. We all know that Kevin Durant got the other 2, and then we also know that Iggy got 1, and that was against the very first finals that he had. And speaking of this, and before I get too much into the finals too, I do want to touch out, you know, point out some things everybody want to talk about LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron. Look, LeBron James not playing, but yet y'all still keep bringing him up. So since y'all want to still keep bringing him up, then let me bring him up too, because everybody keeps saying when Steph wins this ring that he'll have 4 rings, and that's under LeBron watch, and that Steph is right there in the GOAT talk too, and all this. This is what you call smooth brain individuals. You know, at the end of the day, Steph, if he gets 4 rings, to me, that's going to only solidify LeBron's legacy if you stop to think about it. Because if you think about, let's say, a Michael Jordan, how many different teams did he have to face in the finals? You know, he went against the Lakers. The Lakers never made it back. I mean, the Lakers never made it back. So that was the end of a Lakers dynasty. You know, we won't get into the details of that. We can do that all summer. And then what? Portland, they had never made it back. They had went against Detroit. So they went there 2 years. They were a good team. They were formidable. I'm not saying that they weren't formidable. I mean, it is the NBA Finals. It's the best against the best from each conference. But at the end of the day, was Portland considered a great team, a great dynasty, right? And then Seattle, they only went once. Was that a great dynasty? Phoenix, they only went once. Was that a great dynasty? And then, of course, Utah went twice. They could have been a great dynasty, but of course, MJ and the Bulls stopped them from doing it. And I'm giving credit where credit is due because that Utah team was a damn good team. I won't take anything away from Utah. And anybody who uses arguments, comparing MJ to LeBron, I would say, don't try to diminish others' era. That's the worst thing you could do in an argument. I can sit up here and debate you all day long that LeBron James is the GOAT without having to diminish the accomplishments of others. You know what I mean? Because that's what haters do, And I mean, you could say, and I'm not diminishing it when I say the competition. I mean, I'm just stating facts. At the end of the day, like I just said, all the teams I just said, they were not dynasty teams. They had won no championships. They did not go to championships multiple times, just like the Golden State Warriors. Because if you think about it, this is 6 finals appearance out of the past 8 years. And let's just be honest, had Klay not been injured, they would be in there more. And they would have even more finals appearances. And let's not be honest, if Klay and KD hadn't got injured, hell, Steph would already had 4 rings. You understand what I'm saying? So that just proves to you what LeBron James was going against. He was already going against an all-time great team who had the best record in basketball ever. So let's put into context a little bit. We know in the very first finals, when it was not even an even playing field, LeBron James was without his 2 best players. Imagine Jordan being without Pittman and Horace Grant in the first round, in the first dynasty that he created. Now imagine him being without Pippen and Rodman in the second dynasty he created. But that's what LeBron was like without Kyrie and Kevin Love, going against a powerhouse juggernaut team like Golden State. And then the next year, we all know what happened. And then they went out and got a Kevin Durant, and that just made them a better team. So that's not saying that one player is better than another because one player had a better team. Because to me, Wilt Chamberlain, to me, is still better than Bill Russell. Bill Russell just had better teams. You look at Cousy and all the people that's why they had a dynasty of 8, 9, 10 championships in a row. So learn something, y'all. Learn something. So anyway, Steph, like I said, I'm not taking anything away from him. He was spectacular. He shot, he had 43 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. He was 53% from the field, 14 out of 26, which I think is amazing. And from three-point line, he was 7 out of 14, 50%. And I mean, a lot of those threes, a hand was right in his face. I mean, it was some good D being played against Steph Curry because this Boston Celtics team is a great defensive team. And I keep saying defense wins championships, but better offense is going to beat great defense all the time. And I've been saying Golden State could not handle it in the clutch. But let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you, Boston looked like the team that could not handle themselves in the clutch situation because I want to say with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, it was 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. Boston was winning 94-90. I was like, man, they about to pull it off. They're playing good defense on the other end. They know what they needed to do, and it's not like that they were not still playing good defense because even after 4 minutes, when it was 94-90, Golden State did rattle off 13 points to end the game at 107-97. Whereas I said the score was 94-90. That means Boston only got, if it was 94-90, Boston only scored 7 more points with 4 minutes left in the game. And to me, what I saw was a lot of standing around. Boston, they took a timeout, and I know the coach went over there telling them, stand around, play iso ball. I know that's not what he was telling them, but for some reason, that's what they did. I think maybe the moment might have got too big for them, even though they were at home. They panicked because you just saw a lot of iso ball. You saw some bad three-point shots taken by Jason Tatum. You saw Brown just jacking up a 3. There was no ball movement in this. It was just isolation while all the players were just standing around watching. I didn't see anybody come set any kind of screen. I didn't see any kind of backdoor cuts. I didn't see anything going on at all except for dwindling the shot clock down and taking the last second shot. And to me, what really killed them, not only down the stretch, but for the majority of the game, was the rebounding. And I saw when coach decided to go and put Robert Williams and Al Horford in at the same time and go big, I think was their best matchup. But then Kerr, to his credit, pulled out Draymond Green And that's when they actually made a run at the end. So that's going to be very interesting to see, how that plays out tonight, as they will be back home and the crowd will be going crazy. So this, to me, is the most pivotal game of the series when you have teams that are tied 2-2. I think 89 or 90% of the time, the team that wins this game goes on to win the series. But they said that when it was tied, when it was tied 1-1, and Boston went up 2-1. So man, stuff changes all the time, and we know that until it's all said and done, any team has a chance, because this has been a very evenly matched series for the most part. It's been a great, fun series to watch, in my opinion, because you're seeing great defense against great offense. But in order for Boston to step up, if Boston is going to win tonight, I'm telling you right now, of course, Jaylen Brown is going to give it to you. To me, if Boston wins the series, Jaylen Brown is undoubtedly the Finals MVP, especially after this Game 1 performance in the fourth quarter. Tatum, he's been kind of, here and there, hit or miss, a little wishy-washy a little bit. But I'm telling you, Steph Curry, and then I got to mention this because Jeff Van Gundy, he's at one point during the game said that Steph Curry is pulling a LeBron James by carrying the team and this and that. Don't get me wrong. He's doing a great job. He's leading them in scoring, but carrying, this is not Dellavedova, like how he tried to compare it to. Steph Curry still had, 3 or 4 other players that was in double digits. Wiggins had 17, Thompson had 18, Poole had 14. So, he's definitely getting contributions. And even though Draymond isn't giving it to you on the offensive end, he's still making his presence felt on the defensive end, and he's still being a great facilitator of the ball, that's all they need for him to do, and that's all he's ever done. So at the end of the day, if Boston's going to win tonight, I think one of their role players is going to have to step up big, and I think that's going to be Pritchard. Look for Pritchard to get it going. He's been pretty quiet this series. I mean, I think the Celtics are capable of lighting it up from three-point land. They just have to be locked in, and they cannot be, this is all their first time being in the finals. So they need to come out and be not afraid. And I think they're kicking themselves because they know they had the last game and they let it slip away. And it was due to Steph Curry's phenomenal play. And Klay Thompson hit some big shots as well. But at the end of the day, it's an evenly matched series. I don't know what the odds are going into the series. This is not a game that I'm going to bet on prior to the game. I'm going to wait till the game start and see how it goes, because you never know. Golden State might come out and just have a hell of a run, crowd get into it, and they might go up by 17, 18 points and never look back. But if I had to predict it, and here's my official prediction, I just feel like that Boston is going to come out great on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to hang with them. It's going to be a close game throughout the second half. I think Golden State is probably going to come out on a hell of a run in the third quarter, take control of the game. I think Boston will make it close in the fourth quarter, but ultimately I feel like the role players play better at home. I think Poole will have a good game, and I think ultimately Golden State wins this game. But now it's looking like to me as it will go 7, and I think it's going to be one for the books. So mark it. That's what I picked. If I had to pick a final score, I still say it's not going to be a very high-scoring game. I'm going to go Golden State 109, Boston 103. But somehow, it wouldn't surprise me if Boston still was able to pull it off. That's why I said I'm not going to bet on it, because I think them young boys got heart. So we shall see. We shall see. But as always, man, it's been your boy B New. I'm saying right on to the real, and much love to these haters. I'm out.